And is usually on the listen stories. Hang on here, let me change this thing. I'll talk for the first 10 minutes and go over legislative and community updates, and then I turn it over to you and have you talk about your concerns and issues. But the exception, of course, is at the beginning of the legislative session, which is every year, the third Wednesday of January, and also at the end of session, which this year was just last week, May 5th. And so on these two listen story meetings, I do most of the talking. So hopefully you're going to do most of the listening today. I'll try to keep a few minutes today at the end for Q&A. And don't worry if you don't get a chance to speak, because you can send me an email with your issues or concerns. And unless we have any technical problems, we always try to start on time, and then we'll finish promptly at 10 o'clock. And I'd like to first introduce my two year-round staffers who I'm blessed to have working for me. And they have no idea, Joe, what a time clock is, or Karen. I feel perfectly comfortable calling them 24/7, and they just love what they do. And I'm just, again, blessed to have them working for me. This is Corinne Gallardo, my office manager and legislative aide, and she joined my team last August and is doing an awesome job. And of course, Meg Turner, all the way from the shores of New Jersey, my community liaison and social media coordinator. She's been working for me since May of 2014 and also is doing a great job. So thank you, ladies, for sacrificing your Saturday morning. I know you could be out surfing or whatever, but anyway, so let's get started. We'll just jump right into the 2022 legislative wrap up. And then after that, I'll go into some community updates. So typically, as you see there's around 2,500 to 3,000 bills that are introduced every session, and about 10% make it into law. And so as you can see, 2,505 total bills were introduced, 1,386 in the Senate, 1,119 in the House. And of those 2,505, 343 passed and 2,162 bills died. And of those that passed, those 343, you'll see that 19 are called acts. And what that means is those are the ones that the governor has already signed into law. The total number of bills that I personally introduced was 91. 9 of them passed. So yeah, I got about 10% of them passed. Now, the key deadlines to remember is that the governor has 3 options. By June 27th, he has to give notice to the legislature of his intent to veto a bill, one or however many he wants to. So if he doesn't notify us by June 27th, that's it. So July 12th, he's got to deliver the veto. If he doesn't deliver the veto by July 12th, then the bill dies, unless the legislature overrides his veto by a 2/3 vote in each chamber. And that July 12th deadline is basically he either signs it or vetoes it, or it becomes law without his signature. Okay, so I'll jump right into some of the non-AEN bills. AEN is Agriculture Environment. That's the committee that I've been chairing for the last 6 years. You with me there, Meg? We're on cash refunds.
Yeah, for some reason it's not.
Okay, anyway, you can catch up. SB 514 and these are all the bills that passed. There it is. And what this does is it provides residents with a cash refund of up to $300 per person or $1,200 per family of 4. Now that, you probably saw this on the news, that's $300 for individuals who are earning less than $100,000 and for couples that are earning less than $200,000, or B, $100 for individuals earning $100,000 or more and couples earning $200,000 or more. Next bill is catalytic converters, which I'm sure we've all seen on the news. SB 2279, and that makes catalytic converters a Class C felony and regulates scrap dealers and recyclers to prevent the sale of stolen catalytic converters. So hopefully this is going to make a dent in this ridiculous thing that we're having to deal with And then as far as housing, there was an excellent article actually in Civil Beat, May 12th. And let's see here. That chart that we have there, basically it's about $1 billion, just over $1 billion that went into housing. You'll see that first one there, 600 million went to the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. That was in House Bill 2511. And they can use that money to promote housing for people on their waiting list, and among other things, by buying land, providing a mortgage or rental subsidies and other services as necessary. And then Senate Bill 3048 allocated $300 million to the HHFDC, the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation. And they can use up to $150 million for projects for renters with income from 60% to 100% of the median. And then 15, wait a minute, I gotta get my glasses here. Is that 15 or 19? 15 million for the Ohana Zones pilot program. That has been extended until 2026 by the governor. That was a pilot program that started in 2018, basically supporting housing for the homeless people, including projects like tiny home villages. And then 25 million, that's for dwelling unit revolving fund and affordable homeowner revolving fund. That 20 million is for housing infrastructure. That was in the budget bill, House Bill 1600, $5 million to help first-time home buyers. And then the temporary assistance for needy families, that's $500 per month. That's a part of a $98 million federal block grant that Hawaii gets each year in temporary assistance for needy families. And approximately 57 million goes unused and is potentially available for the program. Don't ask me why it's unused. And then $1.4 million for the Hawaii Public Housing Authority, and that money will be used to reimburse Section 8 landlords for repair costs of tenant-caused property damage when costs exceed the tenant's security deposit. So, yeah, that gives you an idea of just in terms of housing. On DHHL, I wanted to say a little bit more about them. That $600 million that they got for housing, you know, obviously the Hawaiian community is jumping and dancing for joy because of their wait list, the homesteaders wait list, which is around 28,000. We also, in addition to that $600 million, there was a $328 million settlement of the, it's called the Kalima class action lawsuit. It happened a couple of years ago. The courts ruled in their favor. But here with Senate Bill 3041, the actual payout was allocated, and that's $328 million. These folks, they filed a class action lawsuit about 23 years ago, and there were about 2,700 claimants. And it was basically for not awarding homesteads in a timely manner. So as I said, they won the case about 2 years ago, but we passed the legislation, SB 3041, with the settlement of $328 million. So that's roughly about $120,000 per claimant. Sadly, about 967 claimants have died since the claim was filed. And so that settlement is going to go to family members or anyone who is designated in their will or in their trust. And then House Bill 2510 was the Earned Income Tax Credit and Minimum Wage, which has been in the news quite frequently. Our current minimum wage is $10.10 per hour. Actually this year, October 1st, it'll be raised to $12. And then in the even years, 2024, it goes to $14. 2026, it goes to $16. And 2028, it goes to $18. This is a bill, emergency powers, that SB 3089. SB is Senate bill, right? This came up quite frequently in terms of hearing from my constituents as well as in the media. And this limits the governor's emergency powers and allows the governor to limit the county's emergency powers. It allows the legislature to terminate a state of emergency. Basically, people during the whole pandemic for the last couple of years, people were concerned that I can't remember how many emergency proclamations there were. I think I lost count at like 50 or 60. But there was just concern that the governor was just doing this on his own, obviously with his staff and those around him, but that the legislature should get involved in the process. Fundraisers, SB 555. Sadly, former colleague, Senator Kalani English, and Rep. Ty Cullen, who's from the neighboring district of Eva. You saw that in the news. They were caught bribing lobbyists, and they will be sentenced, I guess, in July. Based on that and other things that have been going on, Senate Bill 555 was introduced, and it prohibits elected officials from holding fundraisers while the legislature is in session. Next one is Senate Bill 2821. Menstrual products. This requires the Department of Education to provide free menstrual products to all students on all public school campuses. So there were groups of female students from many different high schools who came to the Capitol who were very happy to see this bill pass, and they were lobbying. Yeah, so rental cars, House Bill 1688. This raises rental car fees on tourists to specifically pay for tourists to help pay for tourism-related traffic congestion. Stolen bikes, let me see, that's HB 1991, House Bill 1991, establishes a public stolen bike database and prevents the sale or purchase of bikes reported stolen on that database. So for you bike owners, this is, I think, a really great step in the right direction. And then Senate Bill 2798, traveling vets. This prevents the loss of family pets and months-long waiting for basic animal surgeries when emergency vet care is unavailable, which has been a recurring problem here in the state. So what this does is it establishes temporary permits for out-of-state veterinarians and qualifies international veterinary school graduates to practice in Hawaii. So this was another bill that was, hopefully the governor will sign, that will really help out folks here who are the pet owners here in Hawaii. Okay, and now AEN bills. As I said, this is finished my 6th year as the chair of the AEN committee, Agriculture and Environment. And the areas that I cover on my committee are agriculture, aquaculture, mariculture, population, what else? Environmental quality control and protection, which includes litter control, recycling, wastewater treatment, endangered species, invasive species, and hazardous waste. Total number of bills that were referred to my committee, AEN committee, were 280. And we sent 42 to the governor for his signature. And so here's just a few of the ag bills that passed that I think that were important. Number one is the ag loans, HB 2062. As you can see, they're $1.5 million, excuse me, for fiscal year 2022 and 2023. And this is to fund emergency loans. And it authorized the Department of Ag to approve these emergency loans to our farmers. As some of you know, the average age of our farmers in Hawaii is 60 years old. We continue to import 85 to 90% of our food at a cost of about $3 billion a year. And I'm still hoping that people will gradually realize that farming is a noble profession. It's the punchline I use all the time when I'm speaking to young people, that it is a noble profession, no less noble than being a doctor, a lawyer, or a business person. The fact of the matter is, our farmers do not have much capital to get started and actually to keep existing. And so when there are emergencies, it's nice to know that there's this $1.5 million low interest that they can get a loan from the Department of Ag. Commercial hemp production, SB 2986. What this does is it extends Act 14 to 2025. Basically what Act 14 is, prior to that passing in 2018, you had to get a license from the state to grow hemp, industrial hemp here in Hawaii. With Act 14, that changes to getting the license from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Less paperwork, less hassles. There are a lot of other things that were included in the original bill 2986 to help our farmers. I work very closely with them. I've been working on this issue since 2014, when a dear friend of mine suggested I get involved with it. And basically one of the major problems the hemp farmers are having is the duplication of the federal requirements now that you have to get your license through USDA and the state requirements. That was among one of the other things that were included in the original bill. Unfortunately, there was some disagreement in the House, and we tried to work together to come up with a compromise that would pass, that would help the hemp farmers. And all we could do is come up with this extension of the deadline of the sunset date of Act 14. So we'll be working with them over the next, starting this next session to help with the issues that they are concerned about. And as I've been saying since 2014, this incredible plant, and unfortunately it still has, because it comes from the same plant as cannabis, folks still think that you can get high smoking hemp or taking hemp. You cannot. It's over 25,000 different uses. And the main thing that I realized back in 2014 is what a plus it would be economically for our farmers to be growing and selling this primarily with the Hawaii branding: Hawaiian hemp shampoo, Hawaii hemp granola, Hawaii hemp, whatever. They actually make aloha shirts out of hemp. 2016, I was over in Maui at Sugar Beach when former NBA coach Don Nelson invited me to come and see his house, a guest house, 800 square feet, that he had built out of hempcrete instead of concrete, made out of hempcrete. And as he showed me, it's being used quite a lot in Europe for housing. Termite, no termites will eat it. Mildew, no mildew, all kinds of pluses for it. And then he ended up actually building his 4,500 square foot vacation home out of hempcrete as well. And yeah, it was a great visit. They actually had a big dinner, outdoor dinner on the beach at Sandy Beach, and I got a surprise award as the 2016 Hempster of the Year. They awarded me a plaque and everything. But anyway, it's just one of those things where you learn at the legislature patience and determination. Sometimes the bills that you really want passed, they don't pass the first year or the second or the third or the fifth. You just have to keep at it. Currently, we have, as of December of this last year, we have 91 USDA licensed hemp growers here in Hawaii. And so I'm hoping that they too will have the patience and determination and the money to stick around until we get the right branding. Until the right bill passed into law that will help them sufficiently so they can make some money. Okay, and then Farmer Apprentice Mentoring Program, SB 3197. This was one of my priorities for the last couple of years. And basically it's $300,000 appropriated to the Department of Agriculture to help train our young farmers. And the apprentice mentoring, of course, is getting the old timers out there and showing them all the tricks of the trade, all the shortcuts they made, all the wonderful things that they've learned over the years, feeding the people of Hawaii. I was on Maui for a site visit once, and Bobby Pahia, he is a taro farmer over there. And they had the Hawaii Farmers Union United, they had a group of young people who were being mentored by Bobby and a few other old timers. And it was really quite heartwarming. It almost brought tears to my eyes just to see the young people just fix their attention fixed on these guys, telling them all that there is to know about growing taro or other vegetables or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so this formally funds this program that will help our farmers and also the mentors by giving them some compensation to help our young farmers. And then the Food Hub Pilot Program, 2218, SB 2218. Food hubs are basically places where farmers can, so they, have a commercial kitchen, it'll have sinks, it'll have all these different things where farmers can use this. They don't all have to build their own. And so this one here appropriated $1.5 million to help set up these food hub pilot program to help our farmers all across the state. And then HB 2280, home veggie gardens. This was actually introduced by Representative Matt LaPresti over at EVA. And basically he told me that some of the community associations were having issues telling residents they could not grow vegetable gardens. And so that's what this does. This prohibits associations from unreasonably restricting the use of their owners from using an enclosed yard area for personal agriculture. So yeah, that's a good bill. And then local food procurement, House Bill 1568. And this is another good one for our farmers in terms of helping them. We talk about using local produce instead of using all that food that we're importing. What about our farmers? Why aren't we buying local? Why aren't we helping them, right? So what this bill does, it applies to DOE, Department of Education, Department of Defense, Department of Health, Department of Public Safety, and the UH system. And it specifies that a certain percentage of food, as it says there, has to be sourced, has to come from locally produced or processed ag products. And the neat thing I like about this bill is that it lays it down. So by January 1st of 2025, 10% of the departments that I named, they have to get their food locally by 10% of their food locally by January 1st. And then all of these are January 1st. By 2030, it goes up to 18%, 2035, 26%, 2040, 34%, 2045, 42%. And by 2050, 50% of the food has to come from local sources. So I think it's really cool. Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on time. We're right around 9:30. So I'd like to just a few environmental bills I want to talk about. We passed, let's see, carbon sequestration, 3325. That sets up a pilot program with DLNR, helping with our carbon sequestration, dealing with climate change. Clean transportation is SB 3311, basically helping to achieve zero emissions with our ground and our inter-island transportation. expanding access to electric vehicles, and then also reducing transportation costs for local residents. Green Job Youth Corps, SB 2768. That establishes a youth corps, Green Job Youth Corps, to provide work and training to young adults under 39 to protect and sustain our natural resources and habitats. Healthy Soils Program, Senate Bill 2989. This requires the Department of Ag to set up a Healthy Soils Program that hasn't been done in over 50 years to study our soil and see what the needs are. That appropriates $500,000 from the Department of Ag to issue a report prior to each session that we have. Okay. And then community updates. All right. So all 76, there's the present Senate District 20. All 76 seats in the ledge are up for grabs this year. That's 25 in the Senate, 51 in the House. And the reason why is that every 10 years after we do our census, the district maps are redrawn. And so with the population shifting numbers, that's what happens. And for the record, I did file my papers for re-election yesterday, and the primary is going to be on August 13th. And the general election will be on November 8th. Now, that is District 20. I always like how that thumb is there, right? And now, yeah, now this is what District 21 is going to look like. This will go into effect. The Reapportionment Commission that came up with the new lines, the new boundaries. This will go into effect November 8th. And so this will include a portion of Fernandez Village in Eva, Kapolei, Makakilo, and Kalailoa. And it will include the 41st, 42nd, 43rd, and 44th representative districts. Now, some of the interesting changes. Meg, do you have a pointer? I don't have a.
The changes?
Can you see my pointer?
I don't see your pointer, but I see, are you looking for the changes that you have in your?
No. I'm just, I wanted to point to them. Anyway, I'll just.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What the changes between Senate District 20 and 21 is I will no longer have Westlock in my district or Waipahu. So Westlock, yeah, there you go. You got it there, Meg. Westlock and Waipahu will be cut off of Senate District 21. And Meg, if you go out there by Farrington Highway out to the west, you see with your pointer. Are you out there yet, Meg?
Yeah,
Farrington.
I see Farrington and I'm
To the left, right above Campbell. Yeah, right there.
Oh.
That's right, exactly. That's Honokai Hale. So I got that taken away from me in 2010. Now it's being added back. So I'll have Honokai Hale and as well as the surrounding Campbell Industrial Park, which is right below, right where her pointer is right now. That is if I get reelected. So we'll see. All right, and then as far as construction and development, let's go to East Kapolei Elementary. The groundbreaking right there was in May of 2018. We have total cost of the project is $61 million, and the estimated completion date is June of 2023. Next is East Kapolei High School. This is the mega high school that's being built. It'll serve 3,200 students and relieve overcrowding at Campbell and Kapolei High. It's right there at the corner of H1 and Koalakai Parkway. Go to on the other side of Koalakai Parkway, Meg. Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there where it says, yeah, good. Excuse me. So that parcel is 47 acres. And in 2020, we appropriated $3 million for the planning and design. It's going to cost $300 million to build. And it will open in phases, with the first phase being opened as early as 2026. And then we have ALOHA, the acronym, Advanced Leeward Outpatient Healthcare Access. This is just down the street from where I live in Kailua. It's about a few hundred yards Mackay of Costco and Roosevelt Boulevard. Excuse me. It'll provide primary care, mental health care, x-ray lab, diagnostic, pharmacy, specialty care for the area's veterans, as well as 87,000 veterans on Oahu. There'll be 400 jobs during construction and more than 200 new clinic jobs once they open up. Hunt Company is investing more than $40 million in infrastructure, as you can see right there, improvements in the Kailua area. And the project remains on schedule and to be completed by December of 2023. Next, Daniel Akaka State Veterans Home. Okay, this is the one across from Walmart. They started in April. And the blessing of April of 2021, right? And the blessing and groundbreaking was May of 2021. It'll be our state's second veterans home, and it'll have 120 large private rooms with private bathrooms. There was $44.7 million from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, and then $53.7 million from state funding. And this will offer skilled nursing, intermediate care facility beds to provide long-term care services, plus geriatric, mental health, dementia, Alzheimer's care, rehab therapies, hospice, respite, and adult daycare. And it will target long and short-term stay vet populations, especially spouses and Gold Star parents. It is currently 45% complete. You drive by there, they're doing amazing work. And the completion is about a year from now, April 11th, 2023. And then they're planning on opening for patients in October 9th of 2023. Okay, then on to Gentry Homes, the Ka'ulu. This is the project between Barbers Point Elementary and Costco, again, down the street from where I live in Kailua. And this is a 390-unit residential community, 256 multifamily attached units, 133 single-family detached units on a 30-acre parcel. Let's see, Hunt has been working to improve the roads to city standards. And the first homes are expected to be complete in 2023. Over to the Hawaii Humane Society at Fort Weaver and Old Fort Weaver Road. As of May 12th, the construction is proceeding beautifully, as you can see in the photos. Unfortunately, because of supply chain issues, they're missing a piece of electrical equipment that they need in order to open, to pass inspection. But the completion is expected by the end of this year, with doors opening April of 2023. So for all you pet lovers and animal lovers, it's going to be a great asset to our community. Next, Ho'omaka Marketplace. Whoops, did I skip one?
Oops, forgot the picture for that one. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Ho'omaka, that's a new retail development. It's on the on the corner of Kapolei Parkway and Kolakai Parkway. And so it'll have right there by the shopping center. It'll have great visibility, and there'll be a new Long's Drugs, a Hele gas station, and a 7-Eleven. And they're going to break ground the end of this month. And construction should commence in June. And they're looking to open to the public in the summer of 2023. Now we have Queens West. And by the end of this year, we may have an idea of what the West Wa is going to look like in terms of a better idea of each campus for Queens West. Yeah, so we'll know by the end of the year, more details on this one. Special Olympics, Hawaii Sports and Wellness Center update. Early 2021, construction was completed in phases 1 and 2 of their new campus in Kapolei. And they're moving forward with their project design, and their construction is estimated to be, completion of the construction is estimated to be December of this year. Okay, moving on to district roads and transportation. Farrington Highway, very important piece of road work here from the golf course to Fort Weaver Road. So I did get a letter from the governor informing me that he released $135 million for widening Farrington Highway. It'll be 3 miles from the golf course to Fort Weaver Road. They'll be adding a center left turn lane, new sidewalks, bike lanes, bridges, culverts, etc. The estimated construction start will be October of next year. And the estimated construction completion will be July of 2025. Then moving to Fort Barrett Road, you can see there's, for those of you that go up and down Fort Barrett and Kapolei Parkway, you can see a lot of work that's been going on. It began on July 1st of last year. Construction cost was $7.3 million. It's 85% complete. They're relocating some of the streetlight poles, and the striping is supposed to be done by the end of this month. You can see a lot of the work that's being done there right by the high school. And they are also working on that right turn from Fort Barrett to Kapolei Parkway. And also the traffic signal down at Fort Barrett and Roosevelt, the four-way stop currently right there by the FBI building, is supposed to be operational by May 20th. That's next Friday. So we'll see. I think it's cool. We were just driving down the road the other day about the shared use path on both sides of just very pedestrian friendly. That right turn lane is supposed to be, there's been some delay or something, but it's supposed to be completed. I don't have a firm date, but the rest of the striping, as I mentioned, is supposed to be done by the end of this month. Overall completion is June of this year. And then Fort Weaver Road resurfacing. They're doing some raised intersection concrete work. The anticipated completion will be June. Delivery of the materials is July 2022. So by July, they're supposed to be complete. Leeward Bikeway, the project is 27% complete. And anticipated to be finished in June of 2023. Contractor has completed the paving work for the bike path between Kapolei Parkway and Philippine Sea Road. And then, no drum roll for this one, Joe, Makakilo Drive Extension. I've been getting, what's the latest on this project? And we did email Roger Morton. We've not heard back from him yet on this, but yeah, so hopefully we'll get some answers, and we'll post it on my website, or let you know by, especially you, Joe, since you asked about this, what's the latest in terms of the extension down to north side, down to Koalakai Parkway. And then Roosevelt Avenue and Kamakila. This is very important for those of you that travel this. There it is. The little message boards have already been posted, and that's basically the closure of Roosevelt Boulevard. So Hunt is going to close Kamakila Boulevard and Franklin D. Roosevelt 24/7 for 2 months, beginning May 23rd. That is a week from Monday. So for those of you that are coming from Eva or Kalailoa, going to Costco, you're not going to be doing it on Roosevelt Boulevard for 2 months. And what they've done is they've scheduled it to coincide with Barbers Point Elementary School, which is right there in Roosevelt, their summer break, in order to minimize the traffic impacts. So the contractors, I've been told they're going to be working 7 days a week to complete the construction. So it's done before the start of the new school year. And it includes basically expanding FDR from a 2-lane roadway to a 4-lane traffic pattern. Yeah. Okay. And that is it for the community updates. And so, good. We've got some time left for any questions that you might have. Joe or Kieran?
I just first wanted to say that thank you for all the work, and I'm really impressed with all of especially the food sustainability issues that have addressed this session. So, but I'm definitely would love to share your recap with my Green Business and Sustainability Committee, and possibly work with you again. And for those of you who may watch this on video, I'm the executive director for the Kapolei Chamber of Commerce. And so that's the seat I'm talking from. But I just think that at least there's some momentum, and that's really, really refreshing and great to see. Like you said, it's a journey with bills in the session to work towards, but I think it's a move in the right direction, which is awesome. So I just wanted to say mahalo.
Thank you, Kieran. Enjoy working with you and the chamber. Anything else, Joe? Still there? Okay, he's got I remember he mentioned he's got a 10 o'clock Zoom. So that's it for this week or this month. Stay tuned, and we'll be letting you know when the next one is. Mahalo. Have a great weekend, everybody. Aloha.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Meg. Aloha.